So Riley is one of like the most lovable, excited, and just ecstatic person I've ever met.
Energetic all the way, positive attitude every day. Everything about him is contagious. The kids kind of mold to him, which is awesome.
I feel like the team brings stuff to me. Like, I'm just there to have a good time, and if I can put a smile on other people's faces, that's all that matters to me. No matter how bad of a day I had or how bad of a day someone else had, I come in here and I'm here to dive, I'm here to have fun. This is what I love to do, and I know it's what everyone else loves to do. So I want to make sure that not only me, but everyone else is just having fun. I noticed something was wrong in June, and I hate the doctors, so I ignored it for a month and a half, and that didn't help. And it was my best friend back home who actually told me I need to go see someone. So I finally did, and I didn't tell my parents or anyone. So I kind of just went through a bunch of doctor visits alone. And it was August 14th or August 18th. I don't remember which one, but it was one of them on a Friday. And they told me. It was like an out-of-body experience. You never expect it to happen to you, because all you do is hear about it. And you're like, oh, that's an awful thing, and that's so bad it can't happen to me. And I handled it well, actually. I kind of just sat there and I said, all right, what's the next step? And we talked about it. We talked about everything I need to do. And then I got in the car and realized I had to tell my parents. And that's when it kind of all hit me. So then I drove home and I had to tell them that night. And that was a long family conversation that I did not enjoy. I don't think anyone did. And that honestly was the hardest part about everything I went through, was just sitting down and looking them in the eye and saying, I have cancer. Another conversation I wasn't looking forward to. I called Coach Susie first, and I remember she was actually in the car and she had to pull over.
Never forget the phone call. You know, started joking with him and then quickly realized like he's not calling just to joke with me. He's calling to tell me something serious.
We talked for a bit and I told her what was going on, and she told me, I won't tell them, you can tell them. So then I texted the divers individually. I texted my really close friends individually because I didn't want a lot of people to know.
I was like, what? Like he's full of jokes, he's gotta be kidding, like at first. And so it kind of hit me and I was like, oh no, like, all right, like I texted him, or I think I might have called him like immediately after, and I was like, all right, like we're gonna get through it, like we're gonna push, like we're just gonna do what you need to do, like be there for you and like get through this, and then like we'll be back, you know. And just, he was definitely trying to hide his emotions like when I was on the phone with him, but I think he knew what he needed to do.
Because it's just hard to tell people. I don't know why it was so difficult, but it just really hurt. I started chemotherapy at the end of August. It was 1 week of 6 hours in the hospital each day of just straight chemotherapy. Then I'd go home, wake up, do it again tomorrow. Then I'd have 3 weeks off, and then I'd start it again. And I had to do 4 cycles of that. I started late August, and I ended December 11th. At first, when I talked to the oncologist, he said, you just have to do some chemo and nothing else. After that, you'll be completely fine. And that's what I really, really wanted, and that's not what happened. After the 4th round of chemo, my oncologist sat me down and said, lymph nodes are too big still, so I had to get a major surgery to remove all of them. After December 11th, I got to relax, I guess, and enjoy my Christmas time, which is my favorite holiday, and the team actually really reached out during then and made sure that I was enjoying my Christmas, which meant the world to me. And then I had my major surgery January 11th. Then after that, it was just lying down every day, waiting to come back up. The doctors actually never really specifically told me you can go up when. It was more of I set a goal for myself, as I'm really, really stubborn, but this time it actually really helped me. Because after I got the surgery, the doctor said, you're not going to be diving for at least the rest of the year. You're going to be bedridden for 6 weeks. And I was like, no, that's not happening. That's not me. The doctor said, your season's over. You can go back next year. And as much as a blow was to hear that, I know I'm not going to listen. You know, I never listened to my life, so I'm not about to start now when they're telling me something I don't want to hear. You know, my parents said you have to be realistic because they just didn't want me to get disappointed. And every day, they told me to just stay in bed, but every day I'd get out, try to walk around. I'd do some exercises as much as I could. You know, I'd always do like a little bit of extra stuff that they told me not to, but I just knew that I could go back. I told my parents, I said, after the surgery, 2.5 weeks, I'm going up. Everyone said I was crazy. And 3 weeks later, I came back.
I think one of the best things about Riley is how he's the best kind of unpredictable.
The little trickster didn't tell us that he was coming back on the exact date that he was.
We were at practice and it was like halfway through practice and nobody knew he was coming, like complete surprise. I even have his location and I didn't know he was coming.
I got back and I said, how can I make this more of an impact? Because I always want to one-up everything I do. So I wore a Easter Bunny costume as I walked into the pool. And it's like this moment is just always going to be frozen forever in my mind. And they all just like stared at me for this like 1 second, but that just felt like an hour. Where like I finally got to look at them for like the first time in a really long time. Sorry. And then they charged me.
And I turned around and I like just ran like full force, like as fast as I can. And it was just so exciting. None of us had seen him in like a few months.
The next day was the surprise for us. The divers kept it a secret from us, and so he comes up the stairs and it's like, you know, I think Lynn and I did a double take, like, whoa, that's Riley, like, oh, you're back, and with his family. And it was just the greatest thing. And just from that moment, the energy, you know, he's just so excited to be back and just brings that level. And so good conversation with Mom, and she kind of just like, he's all yours. Like, you know, do what you want to do with him, and he wants to get back on the board, so let him go and do what he can to get back to doing what he loves.
After I got the surgery, the doctor said, you're not going to be diving for at least the rest of the year. You're going to be bedridden for 6 weeks. And I was like, no, that's not happening. That's not me.
When he came back this spring, we had roughly 3 weeks until our championship meet, and he looked at me at day one and said, I want to go to that meet. And I said, as long as you're cleared by your doctor, I'm not standing in your way. So I really didn't need to do much to get him in that mental frame. He got there himself. I couldn't get him to stop trying to train. You know, I wanted him to follow all the protocols, and he did. But he was just gung-ho ready to go.
A week in, you have no idea how strong this kid is. I can't stop him. So then they put him right back into the lift room with the other athletes. And so then he did that, and then it just kept blossoming. Like it's just like Isaac said, nonstop. We're not gonna stop this kid. We can't stop him. He needs to do what he loves. Thank goodness that I put my guard down per se and let him go to champs. And you know, I think the team needed him to be there. The girls thrive off of his energy, and just they bring, you know, everything just goes right to Riley because his energy is there. And so other kids on the other teams, you know, were molding to him and whatnot during that meet.
So Isaac actually asked me to video, and like I think I missed 3 of the videos because I was just so excited. Like I was like all into it, like screaming, and you could hear everybody in the stands screaming for him. Like it was such a heartwarming moment. Going from warm up just to a fantastic meet, like the first dive, like we all were like, this is it, like he's actually like doing this. And I think it was just like mind blowing, you know, like just to come back and be able to give it all you have and like do so well after just such a difficult journey was very exciting for all of us.
He really just blew us away. He really conquered that meet, and I was so happy and thrilled that he was able to do as well as he did, and I attribute that all to him. You know, I was happy to be on that journey with him, but just truly his mindset and his work ethic are what put him there.
I did it. Like that was like, it was like the only thought in my head. I did it, you know? There were days in the hospital where I was like, this is gonna be my life, you know, because the oncologist did say, you should be okay. probably will be okay. I never was given, you will be fine. You are 100% gonna be fine after this. And you know, I was just sitting there like, what if I'm not? What if I have to do more chemo? What if I have to do another surgery? And then it just kept going on and on and on and on. And when I finally got back and when I finally competed and I hit my last dive, you know, I heard I got 5th. I did exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to prove just to myself that no matter what obstacle I'm faced with, I can get over it. I'm one stubborn guy. And if cancer couldn't be a big enough obstacle for me, I don't think anything can right now. And it's all I ever wanted. As soon as they told me I had cancer, was just to prove to myself that this is just a small step. It's just a small bump in the road, and that's all it ever will be. It's a good day to have a good day. I would come in freshman year, and if I was having a bad day, someone else was having a bad day, your day's not over. You know, it's a good day to have a good day. I'd say that to my teammates. I say that to Philan all the time. Just because you had one bad experience in the morning, or you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or you stepped on something when you were getting like out the door, you know, your day's not over. Don't let that affect your entire day. Never miss an opportunity, absolutely ever. You know, if you're tired, you're having a bad day, and you just want to be alone and your friends ask to hang out, go hang out with your friends. What's the worst that can happen? You have a bad time, but you're with your friends, you know? I mean, in my life, one day later, my life was just put on pause for 9 months. And I can never get that time back. It could have been 9 months where I was diving, 9 months with my friends, 9 months doing whatever I wanted. But I spent it lying down. And so never miss an opportunity, no matter how small, how big, because tomorrow, your life could just change more than you could ever imagine.